DFS Show with John Impemba and James Grande.
What is going on, FA Nation? John Impemba here with James Grande. Welcome into the Fantasy Alarm NBA DFS Playbook Preview Show. It is Friday, TGIF. Thank God for Friday. We're here for the weekend. I don't know. There's a bunch of different ways to talk about Friday. We got 7 game main slate on tap. Pretty interesting. 7 games. We have a returning Paolo Banchero. Exciting. We're not going to play him. He's $9,500. I don't know what he's going to play for minutes, but it's good to see him back on the floor. It's good to Milwaukee Bucks there. We have a Golden State Warriors team on the second leg of a back-to-back in which Steve Kerr said what, James?
He basically said, we'll see. With he's not sure who's going to actually be available here. So I think there was a chance that was contingent on the result of the game. And they won. So we'll see. Steph went into the game with an injury. Draymond went into the game with an injury. Wiggins is not even with the team. So we'll see who's available, but it doesn't seem likely that any of them are going to be.
Yeah. Could be getting the Lindy Waters game going
Wonderful.
up against
Happy Friday. Can't wait to play Lindy Waters.
Yeah, in their matchup there. So you got that to pay attention to. We had Zion return the other night. He played 28 minutes. Did not play the second leg of that back-to-back. Going to play here on Friday. We'll see how many minutes he gets up to. Joel Embiid, again, ruled out with that ankle, foot, whatever injury that he is dealing with there. Got a ton of questionable plays on this slate as well, so we'll kind of work our way through it all. Do have a fun Washington-Chicago matchup on the board that we can take a look at. Will we or won't we be playing Jared Butler? That is the question. Butler's been ridiculous of late. We'll have to see who's in or out of the lineup for the Washington Wizards, before we decide to make that determination. From a spend-up standpoint, quite a few high-price plays. Jokic is questionable, missing the last couple of games of that illness. Last game on the slate as well. So once again, maybe have to make some contingencies. They have Brooklyn. We have Giannis at 11.8, SGA at 10.4, Tatum 10.3, and Towns at $10,000. Your 5 plays up over 10K. At point guard, SGA is 10.4, $1,000 cheaper. You get Maxey without Joel Embiid. There's really no wrong answer when it comes to Shai Gilgeous-Alexander. A very tough matchup against Cleveland. He plays 38 minutes. He takes 27 shots. He has 31 actual. He goes for 50. So if you want to spend up for SGA against the Knicks at 10.4, knock yourself out. I again lean a little bit
not
more.
Literally.
What?
Not literally.
What do you mean?
Don't knock yourself out literally.
Don't knock yourself out literally. Figuratively. Yeah. I again lean myself towards Maxey for $1,000 cheaper without JoJo. Good spot against the Pelicans here. But if you're looking at sort of this top grouping here, SGA, Maxey, Lillard, Brunson, Curry, question mark, Halliburton, question mark, Murray, Fox, that whole crew. Do you got a go-to spot for us here?
I mean, it's obviously Maxey, no Embiid is with Paul George. I think Maxey just looks best when he's playing with somebody, right? And there could just be 2-man actions, 2-man games. He obviously came through 46 fantasy points, 39 minutes, but 11 for 27 from the floor, 3 for 14 from 3. I like Maxey a lot. I think playing Maxey helps you get to Jokic if you want. I mean, Jokic's price, he simply didn't play and his price is going down. All he did was not play and his price has dropped. So that's not his fault. Because it was 12-7, the 2 games he sat out, right? We were oh, finally getting there. And now it's back to 12-3. It's okay, sure. Maxey's easier to help, facilitate a Jokic lineup than Shea would be, but no wrong answer necessarily between the two. Brunson Brunson is a really tough spot, but obviously we know Brunson has a ceiling. Hasn't really shot the ball too well lately.
Yeah.
No thanks on Dame versus Orlando in that matchup. I don't think Steph plays.
We literally just got the Steph Curry is uncertain to play for Friday.
Oh,
So,
yeah, and we're gonna get that.
game comments again coming through here. Draymond Green uncertain to play.
We're just gonna get all the comments about all the players.
Just reading off his roster list. Yeah, Buddy Hield uncertain.
Oh my god, dude. Oh,
Wiggins already ruled out. So Wiggins is out as we expected. So yeah, like we'll get the whole team is going to be questionable for this slate. So make sure you tune back in at 5 p.m. and be in their Discord. We'll update you.
So doesn't look like Steph. Obviously, Halliburton's questionable on the other side of that game makes you wonder if they're going to push him with this ankle. He was able to play fine the other day, and he looked really good in the 30 minutes. So if he plays, obviously can this game stay competitive? One of these, I don't know, but we're going to be playing a lot of Warriors regardless. Do you want to play Pacers and hope that this game magically stays competitive? Maybe. Murray, I think DeJounte is a little bit interesting here. John, what do you think? Like, he's made shots the last 2 games. We already know no Trey Murphy.
They'll have Zion and McCollum.
They have Zion. They have McCollum. They already ruled out Ingram. They ruled out Herb Jones as well in this game. Yeah. So, if this game stays competitive, it's not like, not every situation is apples to apples. Washington was competitive with Philly the other day without Embiid, right? Without Paul George. So I know PG is expected to play here, but I wouldn't hate DeJounte in this game. You had commented like, whoa, De'Aaron Fox is a little cheap. I agree. If he plays, we'll see. But he is cheap, has a massive ceiling. We've seen plenty of teams just in shootouts with Boston this year, as opposed to like last year, like lock it up, throw away the key. You're not scoring on us. And then Jordan Poole, same thing. You can play him in tournaments as well. Yeah,
Poole's in. This is definitely a good spot for him. 28 minutes in that game against Chicago. Had 30 actual in that one. They won by a blowout here. So if Poole's in, we're good. Same sort of thing the next tier down, right? Like McCollum at $7,800. You can definitely get there. Jamal Murray, I think you can play regardless, but obviously if there's no Jokic, just offensive upside potential for him. You get the Boston, Sacramento guards. You have your Chicago guards. You got Westbrook, who's been incredible without Jokic lately at $6,900. So, a good solid, like high floor tier of guys here at the point guard position in the mid range.
Yeah, obviously the Denver situation is going to be the thing that we need to track the most out of anything, right? Because Murray looked great. Westbrook looked great. You can play them both. You can play one of them. You can't play either of them if Jokic plays. You can, but obviously like not appealing. And as you mentioned, that's the late game. So it's like kind of tough to like really want to get there. If Jokic plays, but if they don't, like, man, such good spot against a Brooklyn team that's just shorthanded and not very good. So I like them both. Obviously you could play Malik Monk. If there's no De'Aaron Fox, he's going to play max minutes, and he's been amazing lately. Giddey in tournaments. There's a bunch of like very interesting plays here in this range.
Again, Brooklyn, at least for now, Ben Simmons is looking like he's going to play. I don't really have interest in playing Ben Simmons, but would you play the guys we've been playing with everybody out? Would you play Keon Johnson? Would you play Jalen Wilson or Tyrese Martin in that crew here?
Yeah. So, what does this mean? They have 9?
Right. They only had 8 active the other day.
So, yes. Let's see. 3. Oh, no. Dayron's back. So they have 10.
Okay.
I'm not totally opposed to it. I think if we have multiple injuries, right? It's a back and a calf. And Jordy Simmons had talked about like, we've been ramping him up. We want to make sure that he's like good to go. I can't imagine he comes out playing 30 minutes again. If we're gonna get shut down because of multiple injuries after getting him up to 30. So sure, Keon I think is okay.
Okay. I guess if all those guys are out, you'll have Schroeder against Pacers at $5,400. Drew Holiday's been really good. Again, if there's $5,400 for him. Cole Anthony, would you be opposed with Banchero back?
Can we just get this out of our lives already? Like, I like Cole. We both like Cole Anthony, but
he was good again on Thursday.
He was good enough. He got to 5x, like, and it's cheaper than it was. I'm not against it, but like, if you're asking me if Dennis Schroeder has none of these guys playing and he has the team to himself, then I'm just going to play Schroeder. In like, if I was multi-entering, I would have overweight on Schroeder compared to Cole Anthony.
Sure. Agreed. Obviously if you can't get to, if Halliburton's out, there's Nembhard, and then way down here, there's McConnell at 37, which would be a pretty popular play. Lonzo, 19 minutes in that game against Pacers was not very good.
No.
But he's $3,900 there in that matchup against the Wizards. And then Jared Butler. I don't know what to do, right? I mean, 20 minutes in 3 straight games. He's nuked all 3 of those opportunities, including the last one against Philly, where he basically was closing for them. If Poole's out and Brogdon's out, I mean, they're going to start Carrington, but is Butler got to be a play here?
I don't want to say yes.
I mean, to your own credit, the other day, you said like he's always been a very good fantasy point per minute guy. He's been a 2 fantasy point per minute player.
He's just absurd.
But like,
I think it's one of those things. He has obviously been good per minute. This has been kind of like out of body experience though, right? Like double-digit shot attempts in all 3 of these games too. 5 assists or more in all 3 of these games. Like, what are we looking at? We're looking at Jared Butler. I'm not, again, player.
Jeremy Linsanity, little run.
We're having a Linsanity run. But sanity, is that what we're calling it?
Yes, maybe, yeah.
That's don't type that into like web browser or anything. I don't know if there's who knows what but sanity.
Dude, I'm just like, if everybody's out again, people are going to play Jared Butler. They played him the other day. And it wasn't even a good play until it was a great play.
It wasn't a good play until it was a great play. That was wonderful phrase. Yeah.
It's true. But everybody's going to go play that. And now he's not min-price anymore, but he's still under $4,000. So 20 fantasy points gets you the 5X. Let's see. What was that rotation for him in that Wizards game? So he had such limited runs. So he played the final 3 minutes of the first into the second quarter. He played 6 minutes. We got 9 minutes there. He played the final 30 seconds, and then he didn't check back in until the end of the third quarter. Played the final 4 minutes of the third and the first 6 of the fourth, and just nuked in 20 minutes.
He just, for a third straight game.
Yeah.
Because that's what he's done, basically. And I'm not
he played the final minute 18 in that game too, for whatever reason. So he was under 20 minutes until that last random minute sub in when I guess they were down a couple of buckets, so they just needed to see if you could hit a 3 for him.
John.
Yeah.
Bow your head and pray that Jordan Poole plays, so we do not have to worry about this tomorrow.
Okay, I agree with you.
I'm just saying. I just want Jordan Poole to play, so we don't have to worry about it.
You don't have to worry about it.
Yeah.
I agree with you. Okay. Shooting guard. Jaylen Brown's $8,500. A little bit too spicy for us here, I think. Yeah. Our rule of thumb is under 8K Jaylen Brown we're comfortable with. So.
Yes, still hasn't changed.
Or no Tatum. no Tatum or under $8,000 will play Jaylen Brown.
That really has not changed for me at all.
It has not changed. Zach LaVine, $8,100, looking like he was dead for us against the Pacers, and then had just another ridiculous second half run in that game. Chicago still got blown out, but like he did everything he could to keep that game competitive for them.
Yeah, they cut it to what, 14, or they cut it to 12, made Indiana put their starters back in, and then
Yep. So I'll keep going to that well here against the Wizards, not shying away from that spot.
Dude, he's scoring 30 in 5 of his last 6 games. That's crazy.
Right. It's a little almost an SGA run from a point scoring standpoint.
No, for real. Really.
We talked about all these other plays already. Paul George, I guess, at 75. No Joel Embiid. I know he's kind of always been a favorite spot for you here.
Yep.
I'm still like, it worked out for Sacramento. It didn't really work out for Phoenix. He was a cash game play, not a tournament play.
I'm gonna go right back to the well. He's a high usage player, has been a high usage player. He took 18 shots. He was 1 rebound shy of a double-double with 18 shots and played 38 minutes. Like
Oubre was just a better play in that game.
Yeah,
from a production standpoint. Now that's all hindsight, obviously, but
but like more often than not, Paul George is not going 5 of 18 from the floor. So like, and like all the peripheral stats were great. This is a guy who has basically been an elite player every time Joel Embiid hasn't been on the floor.
Maybe I'm just a hater.
You are no. You're absolutely just a hater. And it's okay. You just don't like. You just don't like good basketball players. It's okay.
I like good basketball players like Kelly Oubre.
See, this is that's probably the disconnect right there.
Let's see. So there's Mathurin here at $5,800. I guess if there's no Halliburton and Golden State says everybody, that would be something to look at. Can't go fast PP right now. They're just playing their starters the entire time. So
yeah,
I don't really know what to take away from that spot there. You got Martin up to 52 now. Zaire up to 51. There is Cup Carrington here. You could certainly go there if you wanted to.
Carrington's fine.
Yeah. Do you like anybody more than the others, I guess, in this range?
Not really. I mean, Hield. When Curry doesn't play, Hield starts. Hield started for Wiggins on Thursday and was great. So 4,100 Hield. If De'Aaron Fox doesn't play, Keon Ellis at 4K has been really good. I know he benefited obviously from double overtime, but still,
the defensive numbers have been out of this world.
Really good production.
And
so he does. He is that dude defensively. So if there's no De'Aaron Fox, if there's no Jokic, dude, we just have to pay attention to Julian Strawther. I know he got a lot of blowout run in this game, but he was also just independent.
If he's going to hit his shots, they're going to leave him on the floor, right?
Yes. And this is also one of those things where Aaron Gordon's doubtful. This game, if Jokic plays, could not be competitive, and Julian Strawther's extended to begin with, right? Like the minutes have been great. 7 of the last 8 games, Julian Strawther has played 23 plus minutes. So he's out there regardless.
I don't mind it. I definitely don't mind it there. Does like Brandon Boston start for Herb Jones here? Like Zion's back, so
maybe him or Hawkins. Hawkins played 25 minutes the other night. I don't know if like which of the two, like they're not going to do the JRE thing. So they'll do DeJounte, McCollum, Zion, Misi, and then I guess it just depends what they want to do, right? Do they want to go Brandon Boston? Do they want to go Javonte Green, who played 29 minutes the other, like in a blowout? Do they want to play Hawkins? We'll see. Whoever the 5th starter is going to be really cheap regardless.
That's probably it. Small forward. A lot of these guys we've discussed. You do have Jason Tatum, small forward, power forward at 10-3. Josh Hart's $7,800. Talk Paul George. DeMar DeRozan is 71. Michael Porter Jr., who we've liked a lot of lately, $6,500 there. Koulibaly, $6,300. Thoughts there?
Jason Tatum is in one of those little mini fantasy slumps that I feel like he goes in every year. I feel like we talk about this like often, right? It's like he's 10K and then he goes on like a heater again. You're like, oh, right, Jason Tatum, right, got it. You can always play him in tournament. Good, really good game environment. 230 implied points. Boston is 10.5 point favorite there. Keep that in mind. Josh Hart, 78, coming off 50 again. We just don't play him, but he just plays so many minutes all the time. So if you want to play Josh Hart, 78, you can. I'd prefer to get to DeRozan if De'Aaron Fox is not available. I don't know if I'd get to him if not, but it is a good price. Michael Porter was really good against the Clippers the other day. They just blew the Clippers out. I wish I saw the Ty Lue comments before the game about the fires and stuff. He had said, I don't know how we're supposed to play a basketball game tonight. And then they proceeded to just get demolished. So wish I had seen that coming from the Clipper side. But anyways, Porter, independently of Jokic, has been good. So if Jokic plays or doesn't, I'm good with Michael Porter as well. And literally no interest in Bilal Coulibaly. None. Kyle Kuzma has crushed him. Absolutely crushed him. He can't do anything. What is he supposed to do? If Jordan Poole comes back, Valanciunas is playing, and Kyle Kuzma's playing, Bilal Coulibaly might as well just sit on the end of the bench.
He's on the floor just running wind sprints.
Might as well. Dude, he might as well just get back on defense. He might as well just stay on one side of the floor. Just like you make a pass and then just run back. Just get back so there's no fast breaks. I mean, poor guy, but like he just has.
And also, you can't do anything when Jared Butler exists, right? So it's just like hard to.
And Jared Butler, like Jared Butler exists too. What are you supposed to do?
Just stand there and watch the Jared Butler show. All right. Anything else down here? He started Keyshawn George. Still hasn't really done much.
Nah, except that one game. Except that one game where he was talking smack to Draymond.
For sure.
Where Draymond came out, I was like, he
was like 0 for 7 from 3, and then all of a sudden he was like 7 for 15 from 3. So,
I don't.
Power forward got Giannis by the way versus Orlando, the dreaded Orlando matchup for every team. They just play so slow, and teams don't score on them really.
Boring.
He had 37 actual and only managed 56 fantasy points against them in that game. Which like it's crazy to think about when you're Giannis. Had 1 assist. So, I mean, he's 11-8. Wouldn't you just find the $500 for the Joker if you can get it there? I mean, it's kind of where I'm at. Zion played 28 minutes in his return game. If they come out and say like there isn't really a minutes, I mean, would you play him? Like what do you got? What do you got to hear to play Zion in this spot?
I mean, I didn't think he'd play 28 out of the shoot.
I think he was going to play 20.
I don't really have like the correct opinion, I guess, because I heard this take. I think it was from Tim Legler. Like there's a show that Tim Legler's on that like Zion's 360 that he did is just like a regular dunk for anyone else, but it's so easy for him that it's like, why would he ever do that in this first game back? It's like, well, that's just easy for him. Like it doesn't take effort out of Zion. Like
you know what his usage rate was in that first game?
I'm gonna have to say like 40%.
It's 40%.
Is it 40%?
Yep.
That was a guess, but like it doesn't surprise me. I mean, he was really good. He got to the free throw line a bunch.
Yeah, missed half his free throws. Could have been a bigger day.
Half his free throws. I mean, like, obviously they're super shorthanded, and regardless of who's on the floor, he is the guy. So
it's all. I think that he is safe for cash games. I have to see what the ownership looks like tomorrow before I make a determination on
Okay, I agree.
on tournaments.
I mean, he's not. I don't think he's going to be highly rostered. My
No.
guess would be he's not highly rostered at all.
Yeah.
Like especially like we get to play Siakam at 7,200 again, where the chalk's gonna obviously hit because every time Siakam's chalky, and we're like, why would we do that? It's like, well, great. He wants to play basketball again.
Do we know Miles Turner's status yet?
He's questionable. Him and Halliburton are questionable.
Get the big Thomas Bryant game against all the backup Golden State Warriors.
Oh my God! I mean, like.
We have Kyle Kuzma who's too cheap at $6,400 here. So
yeah, he took a lot of shots. He just missed them. Shot maker show.
Mm-hmm.
The peripheral stats are kind of
shot maker show.
Yes, I mean it's a shot maker show, dude. It's just a shot maker show.
Yeah, Siakam obviously was really good the other day. Jalen Williams, Josh Hart, that's fine. Let's see.
Yabusele.
Yeah.
Drummond's already out, so they're gonna play Yabusele.
Dude, why are we so slow on the price bumps here for
it
Gershon?
is really slow for Gershon. I agree. Not totally sure.
And what did we say the other day, right? He was the most impacted from all of the lineup news that came out in terms of ownership. Like he was still like 50% roster, but he was expected to be way higher. But then all of a sudden, Thomas Bryant became available. Jonas Valanciunas became available, and those guys were all fine. Gershon went for 43 fantasy points. So
he did. He also made 5 threes, which is absurd.
Yeah.
And like
so I would and the other thing I was sorry to cut you off there that was confusing to us was that he has the dual positional eligibility. So you could have still played him and played the other centers, and people chose half the field decided to at $5,000 get rid of him from their player pool.
Yeah, it was a little confusing. That was a confusing one for sure.
Not us, them though. We played him still.
Yes, for sure. I'm not fading Yabusele at 5K when no active centers are available.
I did not play Noah Clowney though. And eight-man rotation, we've kind of live and die by that sort. Sometimes if you played Keon Johnson in that one, you're into some foul trouble. That wasn't your best night. Noah Clowney, however, 37 minutes, 9 of 20, 5 threes for Noah Clowney, 47 fantasy points at $4,400. He's up to 5K. They might have one more active player than they had the other night.
Two. Simmons and Day'Ron Sharpe.
And maybe Day'Ron Sharpe. Day'Ron would impact, obviously, the front court rotation here. So
he would, because remember I said it. I was like, Clowney's just going to play the backup 5. Like they don't have another option, and then that's what happened. And
he smoked.
He did. I'm not saying he's not a good play either. I do think he's actually fine. But 5K is a little
better at 44 than 5.
Better for sure.
Would you run back to Obi Toppin, who was good? Could have been better if they just played him. This is assuming Turner's out, obviously.
Yeah, I mean, I don't hate the minutes for Obi Toppin because I really wasn't expecting much more from Obi Toppin. He never is a guy that plays much more than that when guys are out. Obviously it was a little better at 3,700 than it is at 44, but I would go back to the well.
Okay. Anybody else a power forward for you? Williams, 43.
I've been very interested.
What did Isaac do tonight? Sorry to cut you off there.
He only played 15. He played 15 minutes. I should have never pointed it out, but it was a back-to-back, so we could have seen that one coming. Peyton Watson has been playing a bunch lately. 24, 34, 34 minutes in the last 3 games. I think I would get there if there's no Jokic, more likely, because they've also shown the want to go small. Kyle Anderson obviously is another guy that is just playing minutes independent of like all this stuff that's going to happen with Golden State. What did he end up with? He played
only 9 front leg of a back-to-back, probably because he's going to be playing tomorrow.
Did he get hurt?
I don't know. They played Guy Santos 26 minutes. So
did Kyle Anderson get hurt?
I don't know. You tell me.
Why did he only play 9 minutes?
I think it's because it's the front leg of a back-to-back.
I know, but Are we sure he didn't get hurt? 9 minutes feels he was
I
playing
don't,
really well in the first
I don't
half.
know.
Huh. I don't see anything reported, so he must have just not played, I guess. Anyways, ultimately it does matter. But yeah, I mean if Kyle Anderson's like in the starting lineup, where's Santos? Is he a center only? He's a shooting guard. We didn't talk. He's a shooting guard.
3K shooting guard played 26 minutes tonight after basically DNP and garbage timing the majority of this season.
Not playing for like a singular second the whole year.
Pretty much. I think total minutes probably equal what he played
Count
tonight.
him. Yeah, count him.
I mean, it's more than that. He's averaging 5 minutes a night in 12 games, so there's 60 minutes right there. He played half of his minutes, basically.
Played half his minutes tonight. It's just all right, dude.
So I mean, I guess if he starts, if Moses Modi is out, right?
Moses Modi. I forgot that Moody sat too. Pajemski sat. I mean, who knows what Golden State?
We'll see what they do there. All right, center again has the Joker. He's questionable. He's missed 2 straight games. He's 12-3. Towns against the Thunder, tough spot. Towns has largely been matchup proof this year.
Yes.
He gets into foul trouble though. Then that SGA does drive a ton, so there is at least that minor potential concern there. Sabonis versus Boston. Vuk is here. Porzingis had a huge game. Would you trust that happens again?
There was like comments coming from him that he said that was the most he's felt like himself in a game this year. He looked great, other than when he got hit in the nuts. That was obviously not fun, but yeah, I mean, I think he's too cheap for obviously the ceiling that we finally got, because you and I had talked about it. He just hadn't given us a ceiling, but now we got ceiling minutes, ceiling production, ceiling everything out of him. So
I still don't think I go there, but it was good to see. Good to see he's got in his bag still, right?
I mean, Sabonis is such a bad defender. He is going to have a hard time guarding him. And everything else you said about the centers above, I largely agree with.
I mean, if Sarr is out, do we have Sarr is questionable? If Sarr sits, he'll just Jonas Valanciunas only played 21 minutes in that game and still had 33 fantasy points. He had 8 turnovers, which didn't help.
And Rashawn Holmes is questionable, John. They're running out of like active potential bodies at center. They would have to play like Valanciunas and Anthony Gill. Would be their center options for this game. So
JVL starts again. I would still have some appeal there. Umisi, same thing. Yabu, we talked about.
I would play Valanciunas to be like the first player in my lineup if Sarr was sitting.
Yeah. TJD had a pretty good game. If you want to if everybody sits, right? Like he's kind of locked in. So
yep. Yeah, I mean, it's going to depend. TJD in that same game, Thomas Bryant's 4,200, and we weren't sure what the minutes would look like. He played 28.
Yeah,
and he made 2 threes. He had 22 and 8. I mean,
he'd be the highest roster player on the slate.
Highest roster player on the slate, and I don't even know if that game was real. I still feel like that game wasn't even a real game.
Would you play Day'Ron Sharpe?
Maybe. I mean, we said he was a pretty good fantasy point per minute guy. He obviously overperformed what that is. He 2x'd 2 fantasy points per minute is a lot. I'm not against it. Like something I might do, you could have like a 2v2 and you have Sharpe, and if Jokic doesn't play, you play Jordan or Saric, whoever's starting, 3,500, 3,300, and then have $900 elsewhere to pivot. So
yeah,
could do that.
Okay. Anything else?
No.
Would you play Rashawn Holmes if that's their center rotation again?
Maybe. Yeah, maybe. Actually, I shouldn't have said no. Maybe. Played a lot of minutes. Could be game flow. Could be a game flow thing. Could be
eight turnovers. Maybe had something.
Yeah, it could be the 8 turnovers, but he's super cheap. So.
And he's always been kind of a fantasy point per minute monster in his career. So.
Yep.
All right, let's get to it. I don't really know where we landed on some of these. I guess I mean I like the Philly plays without like Yabusele, I guess.
Yeah.
Let's just like plug him at center for now, and we'll figure out. Let's see. Where was our value? What do we speak of for value here?
That's where I am too. I'm digging in the dumps right now. Buddy Hield 41. We already know Wiggins is out.
We're just assuming those guys aren't playing, right? So 67.
Wiggins is out. So like we saw Hield start and like
play anyways, yeah. Would you go Martin at 52?
Caleb?
No. Tyrese.
Okay. Because I think they're the same price, so I had to ask. I am not against it. Definitely not against it.
Get some Washington, Chicago here. So where's Levine's up here?
Yeah, Levine 81. Shooting guard, small forward.
Shotmaker show Kuzma's been missing his shots, with 6,400 against Chicago is a good.
Yeah,
spot.
I'm good. I'm good with Kuzma.
Point guard. So we can probably did Maxey 56.
Just play him, John. Just fucking play him. I'm just kidding. We can't play him until we know news.
Play Butler 70.
Yeah, don't do that. Don't do
that. So we can move Levine to guard or forward, whatever we want to do there. So obviously like Westbrook would be like a must play if Jokic sat. We just like don't. Or would you just play Westbrook in general? I guess would be my question.
Not against it. I'm indifferent about it at the price, I'd say.
Okay. Let's do this. Let's satisfy your. He can play both spots, so I guess it doesn't really matter. If we did this, maybe 38. Do we have a cheapy util to plug? It would be obviously
McConnell, Watson. There's all these guys that are contingent on like other stuff. I mean, like this is a tough part because a lot of this stuff is not going to matter just once we get Golden State news. Like Lindy Waters.
Yeah, we'd be putting in Waters and all those guys exactly. If we did MPJ and then a 48 util. Like Carrington, just get more exposure to that game, I guess. Right. He was so bad in that game. What do we want to do?
I mean, this tier stinks.
Thomas Bryant would be the obvious play.
Yeah, but this tier just is terrible. This tier is
well, if we got rid of Levine then and did George, that gives us a 54 util.
Still terrible. That answer is Dennis Schroeder for sure.
I'm good with that. That works. Maxey, Hield, Martin, Kuzma, Yabusele, George, MPJ, and Schroeder. Example lineup for this 7-game main slate. We'll be back live at 5 p.m. and hopefully we'll get some more of the injury news cleared up so we can have a better idea of where we want to go with our lineup construction. Again, we'll have the playbook out for y'all. Get in the Discord. Follow us on Twitter. Good luck for your early research. Leave your comments in the comment section. We'll talk to you guys throughout the day, and we'll see you at 5.